Welcome to Drill Down Earnings. We've got a quick look at the latest earnings from Lam Research, fiscal fourth quarter earnings from this company. This is the business story behind one stock on a move, and the stock is moving in after-hours trading. I'm Futurum Group's chief market strategist, Cory Johnson. Lam Research, so interesting. It's an important semi-cap equipment company that when things are bad, it's bad. When things are good, it's good. And right now, kind of good. Q4 earnings beat estimates, but that's just Wall Street's numbers. Let's look at the actual business. $3.9 billion in revenues for this business. On a sequential basis, only up 2%. And that tells you a lot right there. That tells you how they look at this business, because they know that when this thing turns, it turns. And it turns over a very short period of time when they're comparing themselves to the last quarter. Revenues for this business, as I mentioned, at $3.9 billion, but operating margins really solid at 29%. But when we look a little bit deeper, let's think about what they do. So Lam Research, do they sell semi-cap equipment? Yes. Are they like AMAT or ASML? They're not. How are they different? So these guys do etching and deposition equipment. They sort of take wafers that have already been made and add to that in certain ways. So Applied Materials, they kind of do everything under the sun for semi-cap equipment fabrication. And ASML out of Holland, they do photolithography. So also crucial for creating intricate patterns on the wafers, but for adding the materials on the wafers, that's when you need a company like Lam Research, because these are more tailored for the subsequent steps in chip production, like removing or adding materials to the wafer surface. So these guys have seen important in the stack of equipment that make semiconductors and semiconductor wafers. They saw revenues tick up, the growth rate tick up to 21% after a bunch of really lousy quarters. Even though their margins had kind of held steady, they're even better now at 41% operating margins. And their system sales are dominant. 56% is selling the actual gear. But 44% of the revenues is customer support. And the customer support and service is really important to this business, because when the hardware sales go down, the service business has remained really steady. And we're going to hear them talk about that in just a second. But what's happened now is the system growth is renewed, 27% year over year revenue growth in systems, really fantastic and a big turnaround for this business. But importantly, a lot of that is into China. And as the US and Europe and really the whole world is trying to limit China's success in technology, particularly around semiconductors, you got to look at who's selling what into China. China is buying every kind of capital equipment they can, and has been a dominant piece of the business of Lam Research and ASML and others in the last few years. But look at the uptick in the China business. It has been so important for this company. So how did the stock react when the numbers came out? Sold off a little bit, down 2% over the year. Not too exciting, 25% growth from Lam Research. But the CEO was asked in particular, when talking about AI and talking about the growth and all the industries that are driving this company, Tim Archer, the CEO of Lam Research, talked a lot about how their installed base of business is not just a support when things are bad, but a driver in upgrade cycles when things are good.
The installed base itself becomes a powerful driver of revenue during those upgrade cycles. And we do think that the next phase, we've seen higher memory fab utilization, particularly we talked about NAND beginning to improve last quarter, and that seems to be continuing as we move through the remainder of this year. We get to next year and the upgrades start in earnest. Those tools represent opportunities for Lam to help our customers achieve, both a technology upgrade and a bit cost reduction as they move forward. And it accrues quite a lot of revenue for Lam relative to the amount of WFE spend.
So he expects a big upgrade cycle next year and a big improvement for Lam Research. And whether the stock market catches up to that, we shall see. But now you and I know things are good at Lam Research. I'm going to give you one number that tells you a whole lot about this story and a lot about the risk of this stock and this company. And the drill down continues.
The drill down is brought to you by Futurum Group, where analysts, researchers, advisors, content creators, and marketing experts help business leaders anticipate and understand shifts in their industries and build strategies to leverage disruptive innovation. With deep analysis, Futurum Group's extensive industry experience delivers reliable research and data, thought leadership, and actionable advice to help you with your strategy and go-to-market efforts. Futurum Group.
So Lam Research just reported fourth quarter earnings. I want to tell you everything you need to know in a drill down earnings takeaway. $3.9 billion in sales. That's good. It's 21% more than the previous year. And who doesn't like that? But I promise you a bite, the drill down earnings bite, the one number that tells you a whole lot. 39% of their revenues were into China. And that's a concern as the world is concerned about China gathering the technological equipment that will allow them to build things that the rest of the world doesn't want them to build. So we're going to keep an eye on what that China business means for Lam Research because it's so very important to this company. All right, thanks for listening to Drill Down Earnings. I'm Cory Johnson, Drill Down Earnings, part of 6.5 Media. And you can check us out on YouTube in the 6.5 Media page, as well as Drill Down Pod at Instagram and TikTok. And yes, on X at Cory TV. Leave some comments, follow us, subscribe to us. Tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like, tell us what you'd like us to be doing more of. Drill Down Earnings, part of 6.5 Media.